But it seemed to work because someone said it was right on point. In this passage today, there is so much. I really didn't know where to start. I had the section I was planning to focus on all picked out a month or so ago. But between the planning and the writing, sometimes stuff happens. My eyes fall on a different portion of the text, and suddenly that becomes the focus. Suddenly little bits and pieces that I've been writing down and hanging on to for maybe months come together with a phrase that makes an entirely different message than the one I was expecting to preach. Such is the case today. Because I was planning to focus on how we often don't recognize the Christ when we see him, hence the name and the artwork. Has absolutely nothing to do with anything I'm going to say from here on. Because in this passage, John doesn't even recognize his own cousin. Didn't at least recognize him as the Christ until he came to be baptized. But today, this morning, several things came together. Some months back, I was listening to an interview with a truck-driving country music singer. And the interviewer asked him, "Where are you coming from and what are you hauling?" First he asked the truck driver, literally, "Where are you coming from and what's in your truck?" And then he asked the person, in your life, "Where are you coming from? What are you hauling?" Yesterday I got a message from someone who comes to Worship Replay on Thursdays asking if there was going to be a Bible study anytime soon. I told her about the young adult study, but I also asked her, "What are you looking for?" This morning I was reading a book while eating my oatmeal. Nothing uplifting, urban fantasy, don't judge. The main character, Callie, was watching people going into a church, and she thought, a higher power to bring one's troubles to sounded like a great idea, but she hadn't found one that called to her yet. Once a month or so, she wound up at a service of some kind and tried to listen for the call that others talked about. It had yet to arrive. But she never failed to enjoy the unity of purpose that resonated through that place of worship. And then in this passage from John, when Jesus turned around and saw them following, he asked, "What are you looking for? What freight are you hauling? What are you looking for? What call are you listening for? Maybe even, why are you here?" A friend posted on Facebook one day, "Why are people leaving the church is a relevant question. But the more relevant question, it seems to me, is why are people staying in the church?" Some are here because they've been coming here their entire lives. Parents came, maybe grandparents came. Some are here because a friend invited them. Some found us through our music. Some found the website and came out of curiosity. Some came because they were looking for a place where they would find acceptance, and they heard that this was that kind of place. Some came because they liked the preaching they found on our YouTube channel. All stayed because they found they were looking for something and they found it here. Maybe continuity. Maybe healing. Maybe love. Maybe a family. Maybe an opportunity to serve. Maybe for some indefinable reason you just feel like this is the place you're supposed to be. Why ever you are here, and why ever you stayed here, this is the place and these are the people who have called you to come and worship. Come and serve. Come and be our sibling in Christ. When Jesus asked John's two disciples who followed him, "What are you looking for?" they didn't really answer him. All they said was, "Where are you staying?" That's not an answer. They may have not been really clear on what they were looking for themselves, really. They addressed Jesus as rabbi, and John said that Jesus was greater than he was, so maybe they were just looking for a better teacher. But they did know that they believed what John had told them about him. Because Andrew said to his brother, "We have found the Messiah." Jesus invited John's 2 disciples to come with him to see the place where he was staying, and so they did. Andrew's brother Simon came along. And as we know, because we just read this, Jesus immediately changed Simon's name to Peter. Little did Simon Peter know that everything about his life was about to change along with his name. And that's the message. That when we come, when we are called, when we show up to serve, everything about our lives will change. We may not even know why we show up. Or we might know, but we maybe aren't totally honest about it, even to ourselves. In 1993, when I started going to church, when I found that little disciples congregation in Port St. Lucie, Florida, I told the pastor and myself that I was looking for a church because my stepson needed to go to church. I'm pretty sure she didn't believe me. But she didn't call me on it. I went because I was hungry and I was thirsty. And I thought, that place, that pastor maybe, could help me be fed. I did not expect my life to be turned upside down. I expected that I would continue working as a secretary forever, and that church would be part of my life on Sunday morning. Then I started showing up for social events. I brought food to potlucks. A few months later, I volunteered to help with Vacation Bible School. Did you know that I was thinking that it was Bible school and they were thinking it was vacation? I had no idea. Totally different outlook on the whole thing. It wound up being more vacation because, I even went to the congregational meeting. It was short. They pretty much always are, at least in every congregation I've been involved in. I had no idea what Jesus was going to call me to do, but in less than a year after I first walked in the door of that church on a Sunday morning, I realized I had been called to the ordained ministry. I did not want to answer that call. I was quite sure God had gone completely nuts. I mean, me? Really, God? I do know I will forever be grateful to my pastor, the Reverend Dr. Betsy Steyer-Gorig, and to her very dear friend, the Reverend Dr. Ben Bourne, for gently guiding and encouraging me along the way, all through college and seminary and right up till today. Today, after worship, we will be asked to look at the slate of officers that the nominating committee has presented. Each of these individuals was asked if they were willing to serve the congregation in a specific way. Deacon or elder, team leader, or bard officer. Each of them prayerfully considered the invitation and accepted. Each of them will spend the next year or 2 or 3, depending on the term of that office, giving of their time and energy beyond just showing up on Sunday morning. All of them have answered Christ's call to work together to serve their siblings. Their service will probably not lead any of them to the ordained ministry, but the opportunity to serve God is always life-changing. Always. And mind you, even if you have not been called to serve in any sort of official capacity, if there is some way in which you would like to help, whatever it might be, let me know. We will find a way to make it happen. Jesus asked, what are you looking for? Whatever you would like to do, however you want to serve God, we can make it happen. We are all called as partners in Christ's service. Please stand and sing with me.